So welcome YouTube, and in this particular video I'll be restoring these Fs1e rear shock absorbers. So some interesting things to come. So to complete this task, as far as stripping the shock absorbers apart, you'll need a vise. I'm using there just the length of all thread, and then you'll need a 16mm spanner. As you can see, just normal thread, so turning to the left and the bottom sections coming away. As you can see, everything now been laid out. So you can see how it's sort of the orientation of how it's coming apart. I'll now be stripping the other one. So again, if you put the eye into the all thread, pull back at an angle so as you catch the lower chrome section behind the locking nut. That gives you the chance to obviously get the spanner in to undo the locking nut. Again, just laying everything out. Now removing the chrome bottom sections. Just remove the bushes. Just with a screwdriver, take the inner bush first, then take the outer rubber bush. Now masking all this up, basically for sandblasting, so the media doesn't get into the actual dampening shaft. That's it, they're all done. Now moving on to sandblast. So this is alloy oxide that's being used. So blasting the alloy sections of the top and the bottom of the shock absorbers. This paint did prove to be quite tough. Now just going over the lower section of the shock. As you see, they come up quite nice. Just gives you that base to work to. So that's all sandblasted, alloy blasted, ready for the next stage. Now moving on to the glass bead, you'll see the transformation shortly. Going from that dull finish to that nice bright finish. You really see the transformation there. It really does brighten the alloy up lovely. There you go, and there's the finish of the first process. So the shock tops and bottoms all in their finished stages. Looking really good. Moving on now to chrome. So for the shock bottoms, the steel sections, that's now going into chrome strip. Now that's coming out, so all the chrome, the nickel has been removed, so it's ready for the first process. First process now, linishing down, so you see them sparks forming. This is to take out any pitting, initial pitting. Moving on, buffing out the scratches from the initial linish. As you can see, plenty of compound to get them scratches out. Lovely smooth finish now. Going into copper plate. This copper really does give a good bite and a good key to the steel, so it really really grips. Going in now to a high build copper. This is what is polished down, nice and softer. Again, back onto the buffing wheel, get a nice polish onto that copper. So the result's absolutely beautiful. Now going into the nickel plate. Which will give you that appearance that you're going to see later. Out of the nickel plate into a rinse. and finally into the chrome plate. Interesting effect when it goes into the plating. So that's now the process finished, just going into rinse. And there you have it, beautiful finish. So there's the alloy sections, the top and bottoms of the shocks all complete now. And obviously the bottom steel sections all re-chromed. So looking absolutely beautiful. Moving on now to the top sections for the candy paint. As you can see, sandblasted at the minute. Going with an 80 grit sandpaper, just to go over them with a flat block. Check for any dents, dings, any lows, any highs. Just give myself a nice visual inspection. As you can see, it sort of shows up any imperfections on the surface, but in this particular case these are really good. So just giving those a panel wipe now, ready for paint. Just give it a thin mist of etch primer. Using these basically to hang the parts, make it a lot easier to paint them. So just a light spray of the etch primer. Right, moving on now to some 2K primer. Get some build on there. So we've got something to flat down. Gave both of these a couple of good coats. So that's the result. Now moving on to a guide coat. So I'm just using a bit of matte black. So starting off with a 500 on a hard block, just a tiny little block. Just get it to the stage of being nice and flat, ready for the metallic silver. You see, that's now blocked down. But just where I've cut through, I'm just going to go over with the primer again. So moving on now to the finished paper, move on to some 800. Go with the soft side of the block this time. And then, here we go, putting some base coat silver into the gun. Just tack ragging off, get rid of any dust or anything that might have formed on the surface. That's the first coat of silver that's been applied, that I sort of missed out in the footage. In total, it had 3 coats of the base coat silver. Here's another coat being applied. As you can see, lovely finish now, nice and uniform. Now the pop's purple, so the candy paint's going into the gun. So you can see, just applying a little bit of a mist to start with. Just to give it a little bit of bite. Again, tack ragging, every stage always tack rag before you put your base coats on. Then give it a nice full coat of the candy. As you can see, that's looking really good. Moving on to the clear coat. Again, tack ragging. So there, just putting the gun down just to grab my finger out, got it. Moving back onto the gun. As you can see, stunning finish. And that's the colour that I've achieved. So the ear on the right hand side is new old stock. All the parts now ready for reassemble. Just having a good look at them. As you can see, everything looking absolutely stunning. Starting off putting the repainted top sections in. make sure you get that retainer for the spring in the right way around. So again, nice painted top section goes in. Again, get that the right way around. It's got to carry that spring. Add in the barrier, which goes between the bottom chrome section and the spring. Just make sure when reassembling that your shock is fully extended. So as when that goes back in, so that bottom section there where it's been screwed on, just make sure you've got it fully extended, otherwise you won't be able to screw that on. Just push down and get it up to that locking nut. So bit of hard work, but push it down, get it up to that locking nut, and then just do the same on the next one. So again, fully extended, gives you the thread coming through the end so as you can get that bottom section screwed on. Push down again, get it as far up to that locking nut as you can. Now simply just put back in the vise, pull back again, pull to the side so it exposes the locking nut, 16mm spanner, get it in there. That's it, just give it that nice nip up. Job done. Same again. Just get that spanner in. Always better with a thin spanner. And there you go. Just finish off now, insert the bushes. A little bit of 3-in-1 oil does help here. If you look, you can see the shine on that because the oil is on there. If you look there as well, there's 2 sizes. So the one I'm using on the bottom there is for the M12, because you've got an M12 bolt on the bottom. And if you look at that bush, that's M10. So there's a difference in size, so just bear that in mind. You've got M10 on the top, M12 on the bottom. So we're looking at what we did have. And the end result. I think you'll agree. Looking really, really cool. Hope you liked the video. Please subscribe. And thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.